Breaking news came out today of Errol Spence generating the highest numbers in 2020 when it comes to gate and ticket sales, in which Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia generated a live gate of $2,615,000 from selling 14,500 tickets, which by doing so, he outperformed Canelo Alvarez in every way. Canelo Alvarez live gate against Callum Smith was 2,300,000 from selling 11,200 tickets. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's official that Errol Spence replaced Canelo Alvarez as the face of boxing, because men lie, women lie, old media definitely lie. However, numbers don't lie, and the truth eventually come out, which is more than fair to say that now the truth is officially, undoubtedly, the face of the sport of boxing. Even Floyd Mayweather CEO Leonard Ellerbe acknowledged Errol Spence as the face of the sport by paying homage, stating, and I quote, "Errol Spence, keep your foot on the gas and change the narrative." End of the quote. In other words, regardless of how much old media push Canelo Alvarez to be the face of the sport, the truth will always prevail, which is exactly why new media narrative is the whole absolute truth, and Akhi always put it together like puzzle. It's out with the old, in with the new. Furthermore, the timing of it all, it just amazes me how the universe works. I dropped a video yesterday in which I reported that Canelo Alvarez pay-per-view numbers versus Callum Smith went missing, in which old media chose to bury Canelo Alvarez flopped statistics in the grave. If it does not fit or meet the narrative, then eliminate it. That's exactly how old media operate. For the people that don't know, Canelo Alvarez live gate and ticket sales was never released to the public until Errol Spence slapped or smacked old media with the truth. This was a wake-up call that they did not see coming, which is exactly why we almost 2 months in since Canelo Alvarez versus Callum Smith, and the pay-per-view numbers haven't been released to this day. This is the exact reason why. Because if old media released them numbers, then the whole world is going to know Canelo. Forget about being the face of the sport. He's going to end up being the pinky of the sport, since Canelo Alvarez keep pimping you decafs by utilizing old media. However, I must admit, I have to give you decafs some credit, because you're not as dumb as you look. When I dropped my last video, which I'ma leave in the comment section below, I questioned, where is Canelo Alvarez pay-per-view numbers against Callum Smith? That's the $1 million question in that video. But would you believe all of the Canelo Alvarez fans, or majority of the decafs, put it that way, they admitted that they watched the fight for free. They had the audacity to question me, claiming the fight wasn't on pay-per-view. I watched it for free. Well, this is exactly why Canelo Alvarez statistics and pay-per-view numbers keep flopping. Since Canelo Alvarez fans and old media don't push Canelo Alvarez to fight the best, since the ratio of him losing will then be higher, nor are they willing to pay for his cherry picks against the likes of Callum Smith, Avini, so on and so forth. It amazes me that the hardcore Canelo fans are not even aware that Canelo last fight was on pay-per-view against Callum Smith for $70 on either television or DAZN. However, if you do get it on DAZN, you get a 4-month extension on your subscription. But we all know that these 4 months are going to have pretty much no boxing. So you paid for nothing. Plus, if you had the yearly subscription, that won't work either. Matter of fact, if you had the monthly subscription, that also won't work. So how did these Canelo fans watch Caleb Smith versus Canelo? The answer is very simple. They streamed the fight illegally. So they won't support Canelo when he cherry picks, nor they will force Canelo to fight the best. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the exact reason why Canelo Alvarez numbers keep flopping, stardom keep dying, and respect keeps evacuating out of the window, because the decafs and even old media know the truth deep inside. So again, where is Canelo Alvarez statistics when it comes to his pay-per-view sales against Caleb Smith? See, the media and the boxing world, we know Errol Spence and Gervonta pay-per-view numbers. We know Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia sold around 250 to 300K. On the other hand, Gervonta versus Cruz, that sold 300 plus. We even know Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones sold 1.6 million on pay-per-view. However, when it comes to Canelo Alvarez, no one knows. We were only previous to his live gate and ticket sales thanks to Errol Spence. The only explanation is that Canelo Alvarez numbers flopped completely. I was under the impression that he was going to do around 300K. However, the way it's looking, he did nowhere near 300, most likely. It's funny because these decafs want to hate on Floyd Mayweather, but they want to use him to justify the cherry picking Canelo Alvarez is doing. So, obviously, the entrepreneur of new media, the pioneer, Dante, he made a whole hour video debunking that silly notion with nothing but facts, which I'm going to leave the video in the comment section below. But the only reason I brought up Floyd is because he's the highest pay-per-view seller of all time. However, old media continues to paint the narrative as Floyd Mayweather was some type of a businessman. In other words, he was cherry picking, not fighting the best. So, help me figure this out. Forget all the accolades, forget all of the accomplishments, forget the Canelo, the Pacquiao, the Mosley, the Cotto, the Maidana, the Sugar Shane Mosley that Floyd Mayweather fought as Money Mayweather. Forget all of that. Let's focus on the numbers. So, you telling me Floyd Money Mayweather, who was on top of the coincidental list. In other words, he does not have the complexion for the connection. There was no question about it. Money Mayweather was extremely hated. I'm talking about the type of hate where you get booed in supposedly your own hometown. That Floyd Mayweather made his home, Las Vegas, right? Against a foreigner that's not even from this country. So, the $1 million question. If Floyd Mayweather was not loved at all, he was extremely hated. How the hell is Floyd Mayweather the highest pay-per-view seller of all time if all he did as Money Mayweather is cherry pick? We know the haters are not going to pay for a pay-per-view when they know a fighter is cherry picking, because they won't even support the fighters they love when they cherry pick, the likes of Gennady Golovkin and Canelo. That's why their numbers keep flopping whenever they cherry pick. But they're going to support a fighter that they hate whenever he cherry picks on pay-per-view? If Floyd Mayweather is fighting Avini, a fighter coming off a loss and a 2-year layoff, you think Floyd Mayweather is going to sell 1 million pay-per-view against an Avini? Absolutely not. We all know what the truth is. People was only tuning in because Floyd Mayweather took risks every single time fighting the best competition. Every time Floyd Mayweather fought a fighter, he was coming off his biggest win. For example, when Floyd Mayweather fought Sugar Shane Mosley, Sugar Shane just knocked out Margarito. When Floyd Mayweather fought Ortiz, Ortiz had just beaten the undefeated Berto at the time. When Floyd Mayweather fought Cotto, Cotto just got his revenge against Margarito. When Floyd Mayweather fought Canelo, Canelo just unified the 154-pound division against Trout. When Floyd Mayweather fought Pacquiao, Pacquiao came off a spectacular performance against Algieri. When Floyd Mayweather fought Maidana, Maidana just beat Adrian Broner at the time, who was undefeated and supposedly the next Mayweather. Therefore, the point that I'm making, if Floyd Mayweather is in Canelo's shoe right now, he would have fought Charlo, Andrade, and Benavidez by now. However, it's extremely disrespectful to compare Floyd Mayweather and Canelo Alvarez. But the point that I'm making is that Floyd Mayweather was the highest seller because he took risks. If Canelo wants to sell, he needs to fight the likes of Benavidez, Charlo, Andrade, instead of all of these Europeans. Canelo is pound for pound number one in Europe, not worldwide, because he fought the whole Smith family that no one knows. However, on the other hand, he will go nowhere near the Charlo twins that everyone knows, who are from Texas. But he'd rather fight Caleb Smith in Texas. You see what kind of cherry picking is going on? That's why Canelo Alvarez stardom is dying, because he trying to protect a record that's not even perfect. Now, how silly does that sound? On the other hand, you have Errol Spence, his first comeback fight after suffering an accident in which he survived in a miracle way. He fought Danny Garcia. And you got Canelo Alvarez right now trying to fight Avini that he personally requested to fight. A fighter coming off a loss and a 2-year layoff. He pretty much fighting Avini for Benavidez belt that he lost on the scale just because he miscalculated his weight. So like I said time and time again, people lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. And to all of the decafs and the Canelo Alvarez fans more so, quit streaming fights illegally. Support y'all favorite fighters instead of being keyboard warriors all over the place. With that being stated, drop your thoughts in the comment section below, subscribe below, and click on the notification bell to be continued on the next episode of Akhi TV. Peace, and we out here.